Hello and welcome back to Manifesting with the Moon. I am here with Stephanie Cartwright, and we are talking about the first full moon in 2026 that is in the sign of Leo, which is a very exciting, fiery kind of sign. So, what do you think, Steph? How are you feeling about it?
Well, I have been really sitting with that whole, this is known as the snow moon. It's that time of year where apparently the reason it's called the snow moon is because in most of Europe and in America, this is where you would have the most amount of snow. So if we think about that sort of like that silent, reflective, the almost like feels like the almost the isolation and silence and going in. Introspection, I think, really is the key around for me for this full moon when we think about snow moons. So we're not going out because obviously we've got massive snowdrifts. Instead, we're going in. It's an introspective moon of where we can like go quiet, take time, and think about where we're going to head and what we're going to release at this time of year. And the other thing that we said was obviously this full moon is on the 1st of February, which is also Imbolc. So for those who don't know, Imbolc is the 1st of February, and it is one of the Celtic festivals after Yule. So you get Yule, and then our next one, which is just up before Christmas. And now we've got Imbolc. So as such, this is the emerging, the beginning of spring. You looked it up just now, didn't you? It means in the belly, was it? Did you say?
Yes, that is the translation in the belly, referring to sheep who are on the verge of coming out into the world. And they refer to it in the book that I looked up as the awakening, which is kind of a nice term.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I suppose it's really that image of this is just before lambing is about to start. So they're pregnant. They haven't emerged yet. So like you say, it's a bit like seeds. The seeds are going in the ground at this time of year, but they're not emerging yet. So it's almost like it's that inch, but it's still inside, isn't it? That
Yes.
nice, cozy, let's grow rather than, oh, it's cold out there. So that introspection going in.
Which I think is a really nice image. I also like imagine visually like a lion, which is the Leo energy, kind of like stirring, like kind of grabbing those last bits of dreams that you have right before you wake up, where he's kind of stirring, kind of getting ready to move and like take take that leap forward in a couple of months, right? Like the Leo energy is it's a fiery energy. It's really exciting and creative and playful. And so this is a really nice moon to kind of like gear up for what's coming. I mean, it is the year of the horse coming up too, right? Just next month. So we are getting ready to spring into action pretty soon. I can already feel it inside of me. I can feel like this building of like something you're getting ready to like hit the ground running. What are you going to do? Are you ready for it? Because it's going to be fast.
So this is our time to be grounded and almost stay in that sensitivity, that nurturing, that grow, almost like not quite growing. It's almost like you say, it's more that a word of awakening. But it's inside rather than it's more it's more that inside in the growth, as in emerging, sorry, rather than emerging, internal development rather than emerging.
Yes, it feels like something big is coming up. And you might have already felt it because last week, was it Neptune, I think, moved out of the sign of Pisces into the sign of Aries. And so it's more of that fiery energy, right? Neptune is the planet of like spirituality and awakenings and it, ethereal kind of vibes and stuff. And so it does feel like something's changing, something's happening, something is going to be emerging from this sleep state. So it's
Yeah.
very exciting.
It is exciting. So,
Mhm.
one of the things I was thinking of all the rituals you could use with this full moon, given that you've got Leo, given that you've got Bridget and Imbolc, then one probably the best ritual is some sort of fire type ritual, whether or not that's lighting a candle and burning some intentions in it, whether or not that's sitting and reflecting in front of a fire or a candle or a meditation, but it feels like fire feels like a really symbolic way to work with this full moon.
Oh, I agree completely. Like I had made in my notes like ages ago in my book that this feels very much like a Hestia from Greek mythology. She is the goddess of the hearth, or Erda, which is from Norse mythology. She is one of the three fates that
Right.
bore the runes and like takes care of the runes and everything. So it feels very much like gather around the fire and sit and just kind of
Yeah.
like let it show you what it needs to show you, what your next steps may be, and just kind of like let it awaken you.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I thought that we don't really talk about is the effect of the full moon on people. And I was just thinking, one of the things that often crops up is people feel that maybe they have more of a restless sleep. Or the opposite, they sleep really deeply. So this is the thing is remember your body's your body and you do everything your own way. But people often talk about restless sleep with full moons. They often talk about the fact that they can't focus. There may be maybe a bit more mentally foggy or maybe a little bit more not as on it, quite, they feel a bit more scattered with their thoughts. And the other thing is that some people also talk about almost like being more sensitive to other people's energy than at normal times other than the full moon. So I think remember that with all of these full moons, there's almost also our own journey that our physical bodies are going on as well. And just be mindful, it's okay to be feeling all of these feelings. Our body, remember, is being drawn, pulled towards the moon. It's having a surge. So therefore, it is going to affect us differently to other times of the year because we're so much water. If waves are affected, our oceans are affected, we're going to be affected.
I'm yes, I love that stuff. I love that when I hear people are so moved emotionally or physically
Mm.
by the moon. I think that is just another sign of how connected we are to each other and to the planet and the cosmos and everything. I think it's a really great thing. And I think, it's gotten a bad rap over the years, right? With Hollywood and werewolves. Of
Hmm.
course, I always think about werewolves when you talk about the full
Of
moon,
course.
of course. But it is this like really beautiful changing that we go through every single month. And sometimes I think we resist it a little bit.
Hmm.
And why do we do that? It's so interesting. It's such a fascinating part of being human. So,
Yeah.
just observe it and maybe make some notes and see how you feel. Maybe this is the year that you tune into the moon just a little bit more
Yeah.
because it
You
is
know,
such
if
a gorgeous thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you have dreams, then write them down. Just make little notes about your dreams.
Mhm.
Just observe yourself and see how the pattern is affecting you personally. Are you restless? Aren't you? Do you actually sleep deeper? Actually, for you and your body, do you actually have a much deeper amount of sleep when it's a full moon? There's no right or wrong. Your body's just going through this. It's almost like going, wow, that's really interesting. I've got a rhythm and it's also with the moon. So as I said, I just wanted to raise that because we don't raise that necessarily with all of the moons that we do.
Right. Yes. It's very important. I think it now more than ever, as like the collective is shifting into this more awakened state, it's going to be very important to begin like really tuning into our bodies more
Hmm.
because they're the vehicles for our souls, if you will. And so they're a very important aspect. And I know that personally, I have very much dismissed my body. Like, you are here to do my bidding and walk me around this planet, and I will take care of you when I feel like it. But over the last couple of years, I've really started to like hone in on like, oh, what does this feel like? What is this? And it's been very illuminating and helpful for me. So, and what
Mm.
getting in tune with the moon cycles is also a great way to do that.
Yeah. And I guess because one of the things, obviously, with manifesting with the moon, we normally also think about what you're releasing as well as what you're bringing in. This moon really feels like you need to sink into the focus on the releasing this moon. There's a stillness in this moon, there's a gentleness, there's this think about we're not pushing. This is the deep snow. We're not pushing outwardly. It's all about just releasing inwardly here. So this feels like a really beautiful full moon to do that with. And as I say, if you want to incorporate a ritual, maybe incorporate fire, whether or not that's in front of a fire or a candle, and actually say, I release anything that no longer serves me. Just something really simple. Just it doesn't have to be big. With manifesting, it's about this releasing. So something new can come in. And this moon, given it's this 1st of February, it's Imbolc, it's the snow moon. Maybe we really embrace that releasing part of the cycle in this particular full moon.
I agree completely. And I think that as you're releasing whatever it is that you're trying to shift into, make sure that you step into that um, possibly self-forgiveness. I think that is one of those things that we hold on to as humans so much is we're like, oh, I did this, I want to release it, but we don't necessarily accept or forgive ourselves that we did
Mm.
that. And that this is a really good moon for that. Like, give it to the fire and everything because we are human and we have to move forward. But if we're holding on to these cringy moments that we had in our lives, then it's going to keep us stuck in place. And so this is a really nice last full moon cycle before we hit this new lunar new year when things are moving really fast. I know that like this particular full moon, I'm very fired up, right? Neptune in Aries. We got this Leo full moon. We got a lot of fire. We're moving into the fire horse year. It feels like let's get going. Let's move fast. This is I don't want to say it's our last chance, but it is one of the really nice, gentle uh touch points before this big new energy is coming in to be like, okay, you know what? I do accept that this was who I was and it got me to where I am now. And I accept that part of myself. And maybe I forgive that part of myself. And, maybe do a little ritual around acceptance and forgiveness if you really want to step into that new aspect or new
That's a love.
identity.
Yeah, that's a lovely idea. It's something that's really nurturing, which also
Mhm.
ties in with this snow moon sheep, nurturing. That's a really important part of embracing this energy.
Absolutely. Okay, well, this is
Mm.
the last full moon. Is there any intention you want to share as we move into this new lunar new year, Stephanie?
Well, one of the things that I have done is because this over in the UK, I've just filed my taxes. So part of me has willingly released the money to the tax people and also really released that fear of around money going out, that releasing lack, releasing, oh my gosh, I can't believe. No, I'm releasing the money. Here you go. I'm really excited. I've got taxes to pay. So I'm so for me, that's where I've really focused my releasing. I'm releasing the lack and I'm really embracing giving that money off and away because I really feel that I'm ready to shift this and go into this new year with completely different energy around money.
Oh, that's amazing. That's always a great thing to do, right? Like money can hold us back, the
Yeah,
concept of it. So that's great. Any releasing that you can do around that is fantastic.
yeah. And what about you, Christy? Have you got any intentions or anything in particular?
Yeah, I actually pulled out my new moon in Leo that I did last year. Was one of the times I was actually diligent enough. And I see that I really stepped into more joy, more vitality, more creativity. I have been very skittish around letting people into my community or building a community over these last couple of years. I've had a lot of healing to do around that, and I went to a retreat this past weekend, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want moving forward. I want a supportive group of friends that I can cheer on and that can cheer me
Hmm.
on and that we can walk with, you know, walk into this new era together because I think that is where we are going as a collective, right? We need those bonds. We need a community of like-minded people that are gonna lift us up and that we can lift up and that, it's just so important. It's something that is very much in my chart, in my human design
Yep.
chart, and even my astrological chart. But I also have a lot of wounding around it. So I
Mm,
feel like this is like a good way for me to kind of like burn off that old energy so that I can step into this new supportive thing.
great. So it's a real releasing of that old energy for you.
Yes. Yes, be done, be gone energy. We
Off you
are we are
go.
ready to transmute you into something amazing. So
That sounds
here we are.
perfect.
Mhm. So, anything you want to end this with on this very last full moon of 2026 before we step into the year of the horse?
Well, I think the key thing is to embrace the releasing, embrace the quietness and the stillness, and really just think about that nurturing side for yourself, self-reflection. And if you want to embrace that fiery energy that comes with Leo, then use a candle, use fire, help it with the releasing, use the energy around you to be able to let things go.
Yes, I love that. And I think that is all we have for you guys next time. And we will see you in the year of the fire horse.